Hi. As you can see, we've moved indoors today. The reason is that I wanted to talk to you about bacon. But as with most of our products, it is far simpler to actually show you what I'm talking about rather than just talking to you about it. So, I'm going to cook some bacon. First of all, normal pan. Secondly, obviously, ordinary slice of our bacon. Now the first thing you'll notice, very little fat in our bacon. Reason being that for the most part we only use the actual eye of the loin of bacon. So all the outside fat and so on all gets taken off to leave us just with the lean part in the middle. And the reason for that simply is that we do have people come to the store quite regularly and say, oh, I like a bit of fat in my bacon. So we used to do both. We used to use the whole loin with the fat and a little bit of tail of belly pork on there and everything. I can guarantee you, when it gets to the end of the day, the bacon that's the last to go is the fatty bacon. So in the end, I just thought, it is a lot easier for us to just make lean bacon. If people want fatty bacon, they can go somewhere else. The other thing about the bacon is the way it's cured. Now, that's really what I'm trying to show you. The difference, ultimately, in the methods of curing will obviously result in not only the bacon you get, but more importantly the value for money you get out of it. As consumers, I think we're all familiar with the concept of I'm going to take a bit of fat off there actually. Buying bacon and then going to cook it, and when you cook it, it goes in a perfectly decent sized piece of bacon. By the time you get it, it's all shriveled. There's nothing left, and there's a load of muck in the pan. Well, it was really that got me wicked, to be honest, and I decided to do something about it myself, which is where I learned to do bacon. So straight in the pan. I've only put the fat in there, or oil in there, just basically because there's no fat on the bacon to sort of lubricate it in that sense. So, now, if you've looked at the website, you'll know that there are basically three main methods of curing bacon. You can injection cure bacon, which is what pretty much any bacon that says it's not cured in a specific way will be injection cured. So most supermarket bacon, and as I say, bacon that doesn't specifically say that it's not. That has its advantages. It is quick. It produces from the producer's point of view, great big piece of bacon, very quickly, blah blah blah. However, from your point of view as a consumer, as we just said, when you put it in the pan, it shrivels down to nothing. All the water comes out, and there's a whole host of other things that go in there that, we don't want to go into great details, but suffice it to say, it's not particularly savoury. For example, polyphosphates, which are there basically to, like the crystals you get in hanging baskets, where you put water in and they swell up and they hold the water. Similar sort of thing, but for food production. This is our bacon. I mean, that's virtually cooked now. And, whoops, don't know if you can see it, but, whoops, there you go, virtually the same size as it was before. There's no real moisture that's come out of there. I mean, there's a little bit of the oil that was in there, and, that's about it really. So you're getting what you pay for. And that is probably the main reason, apart from the taste, of course, that our bacon is so popular. So going back to these three methods. Injection curing is literally injecting the meat with a brine cure. More often than not, it's then tumbled in basically a tumble dryer to all intents and purposes. It's not a tumble dryer, but that sort of. In the old days, that'd be rolled in a barrel, actually. But anyway, at the other end of the scale, you've got dry curing, and that is the oldest form of curing pork, or meat in general, in fact. Again, going way back, it would literally be packed in salt, and then you'd have had to soak it and all the rest of it before using it. And that was great if you're on a long voyage or something like that. It meant that before refrigeration was available, it was a way of preserving meat. Of course, the result is that the meat's a bit salty, even if after you soaked it for a while. Modern dry cured bacon is a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, if truth be told, to the other extreme, which is the injection cured bacon, which we've just been talking about. Now in the middle is what we do, which is immersion curing the bacon. Now, the reason immersion curing bacon isn't championed so much by self-sufficiency enthusiasts and people who are looking for ways to sort of get people into doing things for themselves is that it is dry curing is easy in that you can make the cure up and you use it, and the method's quite straightforward. Immersion curing really requires a bit more skill. It takes a lot more time, and you really need to keep the brine in use all the time to keep the quality up. Which obviously, if you're just doing it on a little, self-sufficiency basis, it doesn't really work. But it is immersion curing, also called pickling, which, in terms of history, has been the type of curing that's gone on for the longest. And that is really where the actual skill of a curer comes from. Because, first of all, you create the brine, it has to be the right degree of salinity. In modern methods, we use like a hydrometer that you'd use for home brewing, that sort of thing. So it was exactly the same sort of thing, and it's testing the salinity of the brine. It's called a brinometer rather than a hydrometer, but anyway. So you've got to get the salinity of the brine right. There's also various flavours and different types of salt you can add to adjust the flavour, and you put sugar in, and you have to constantly keep an eye on it, constantly strain it each week. There's the process through which you go to actually clean the meat first, and then, and it is basically more long-winded. But the resultant bacon is that you get good quality bacon, doesn't shrink, doesn't let out loads of water, has a nice flavour to it, and in contrast to dry cured bacon, which tends to pull the moisture out of the meat, the actual natural moisture of the meat out, and particularly if you then smoke it, it then can become a bit tough, to be honest. I'm not saying all dry cured bacon's tough, but it can go that way if if you're not careful. Whereas with immersion curing, obviously it's a little bit more gentle, and there is an element of having to leave it to mature a bit afterwards. I mean, you really want to leave it at least 10 days when it comes out of the brine to equalise, and you must make sure you wash it as well, otherwise it will carry on curing. But there you are. So our bacon, we sell out virtually every week. We only make a certain amount because obviously it's the loins from the pigs that we've used to make the sausages, and we're only making so much sausages, so we only have so many pigs, and therefore there's only so much bacon. But yeah, give it a go. See what you think. £2.50 for 250 grams, which on the face of it you might think, well, that's actually expensive compared to supermarket bacon, but the difference is, you only need 2 rashers for a sandwich, you don't need 4. So, pay your money, take your choice. Right, okay, well that's bacon. Nice sunny day. Saltburn Farmers Market this weekend. Get yourself down there if you can. More videos in the future. Thanks for watching.